Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It's Saturday night, and on a Saturday night when we're feeling all right and the sky is bright with the stars, we like to bring our own stars to join us on our channel, and that's what we're doing this evening with one of our favourite games and one of our favourite, favourite, favourite honorary boys from the Baltic Star. But more on that later. If it is your first time on the channel, you are very, very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very happy to have you here. We are the Boys from the Baltic Star. We stream role-playing stuff on a Friday and Saturday night. Friday, usually Traveller. Saturday, a whole range of things like this game this evening, which we'll go into more shortly. We'll run, I don't know, two and a bit hours, I don't know, some sort of time until someone messages in the chat that they're tired, and then we stop it at that point. Or that cats need feeding or something like that. We'll run about that long. We'll have a break at some point as well. I'll plan to do it in the middle, then I'll forget because I'll get too excited. But there will be a break, so feel free to stay for as long as you want. If it's your first time, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're one of our old friends, our old friends, maybe not in years, but in just closeness to our heart, like you, Russ. Thank you for joining. You're all very welcome. Please feel free to chat or lurk, whichever best suits you. We'll never call out our lurkers, but our chatters will get friendly with and interact with when we are not role-playing, I guess. We interact quite a lot. Things tend to blur the line between chat and game and welcoming people. You'll get to see that if you don't already. This is as professional as the evening gets. It goes downhill quite quickly from this point. We always start at a high and then it falls off. We have got a true gaming professional with us tonight, though, so hopefully he'll keep things at a good level and not like that night a few months ago when he got absolutely hammered on stream and it fell apart really quickly. In fact, his own character had to go to bed drunk, if I remember correctly. Yes, chat or don't. Click on this red sun to spend some points. One of them's not working for me, so you lot will have to do it for me. You'll have to do it multiple times to make up for it. But anything pink will play a tune. We'd like to celebrate each other. Ben is looking rather bald of chin, so there is an option to give him a beard for the night because he's very much missing out. And he's normally a man with a fine chin wig, but tonight he is a little bit short on that. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, have a little look around. You can give him a boon if you want. Why not? You can name an NPC if you want. We're in Austria and it's the 30s, so no Chardonnay Watson or something like that. I don't know. A Slayer's in. Really? Wonderful. Am I missing things? Oh, yeah. Beard for Ben, thank you. I'm going to have to keep looking at my thingy chat because it's not showing up on that one. Hang on, beard for Ben. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave it there for the whole game now. That saves effort.
Good plan.
There we go. There you go. Job's good. But yes, so that's enough of that nonsense. Sock Fiddler's in the house as well. Slayer's in, Fids is in, you see. The posse getting together. And quite right too. When John's here, the posse has to be here. But speaking of that, let's quickly introduce our dear players this evening. And then the game, I suppose. So the game is set in the 1930s. It's an adventuring kind of gung-ho game of archaeologists, and there's no whips that I know of yet. But other than that, just picture your usual tropey adventure from the time. A little bit Agatha Christie, a little bit Indiana Jones, a little bit Sherlock Holmes, a little bit of that. Put it all together, jumble it up, add a sexy Greek man, and that's what you get. Speaking of which, let's start with the not sexy Greek man. I'm neither Greek nor John. My name is Luke. Good evening. I'm in the top right-hand corner. I am the GM this evening. Me and John are battling with beards. They're going to gain sentience at some point and just start their own channel together. It'll be very interesting, and I'll be the first one there to watch it, and you should too. But I'm just GMing tonight, because I've got 3 of the best players that anyone could ever hope for. And they're all below me. And we're going to start at the far left, on screen and potentially politically as well. He is my brother from from another motherland. The housewife's favourite, um, the Floof General. He is the wonderful Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Bonjour, Luke. Bonjour. I
Bonjour.
was really good until you politically doxed me. I think that's what that was, wasn't it?
Oh no, it's all right. No one watches anyway.
No, yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
That's good. That's good. So I saw you out and about today, Ewan. Your wife let slip on her Facebook that you were having a wonderful time. What some excitement in the air I saw. What were you up to today?
We went to a Roman fort, an old Roman fort, not a new one, and then had a little wander around sandwich, which was very nice. Went for some lunch. Didn't have a sandwich. A bit disappointed.
But you got the Roman fort in at least, and that's the main thing.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
This was Richborough, presumably.
Yes, it was indeed. It was very much so.
Very lovely.
It's quite interesting.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. Well, dear viewers, you may notice that the adventures are called the Tony and Rudi Adventures, and Ewan is very much an afterthought. He's in the credits. There'll be the star, and also featuring, or something like that. Maybe guest starring it was, but people loved him so much that he's hung around. So why don't you tell us a little bit about our beloved Gaston?
Yes, indeed. Tonight I am playing Gaston de Leroux, who is a French-born man, long definitely acquaintance of Tony and Rudi. Born into a somewhat wealthy, well-to-do French family until the war stripped most of his family vineyard from him. And so now he's just making his way the only way he knows how, by tagging on to Tony and Rudi. Reflective fame.
Of course, the vineyard destroyed in the Great War, of course.
Indeed, because we're not quite anywhere else yet.
No, indeed. And it's a wonderful treat to have Gaston with us. I'm sure everyone agrees. He's quickly became. I'm not going fan favourite. Definitely the fan third favourite. But he's getting up there.
Clearly the short rounds to Bear, Indiana, and Jones.
Exactly. Speaking about the Indiana and the Jones, let's start with an OG boy, shall we? Let's build up to the main event. It's very rare that he's not mentioned last, but he is the smartest man in any room. He lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence, as he is indeed now. He's often carried around town to any nearby Roman forts by naked and heavily oiled Italians on the backs of shields. He is the man, the myth, and the legend, Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
Wonderful. Which is your favourite Roman fort, Ben?
There are a couple of really nice ones on Hadrian's Wall, but truthfully, I think the one built just next to the Tower of London, where you get the foundations, but as you come out of the tube station, is pretty spectacular.
It's good. It's nice. I'm glad that I feel very cultural that we can be in a channel where people have opinions on Roman forts. I think if we can marry that with hot tub stream at the same time, I think we'll hit pay dirt.
I think discussing cultural history in hot tubs could be the way forward.
We could do it on location.
Get a cat in there, we're great. That's the internet covered.
Do it in location. Do it in location at John's house. Ben, tell us about this character of yours that you play. One of the two grand stars of the story.
Well, on the subject of Romans, he is in fact a Roman. Tony Guerrero, an Italian citizen who currently lives in London and works as an academic at a museum and archive. His profession is is some variation on a theme of history, because he doesn't seem to be as devoted to academia as he perhaps should be, spending most of his time gadding off around Europe on adventures. Um, because that is naturally the way things are. Um, he is at the moment trying to desperately avoid getting recruited into Mussolini's
Mm.
army by staying out of the clutches of the Italians and other fascists in 1938. And this is now his fourth adventure with his buddy and long-standing ally Rudi, and the last two of them have also included young Gaston.
It's true. Wonderful times we're living in. Now, I remember back to the start. I'm looking back over the notes as I was, because it's been 4 months since an episode. Um, Sadly, wine was spilt over Rudy's book this time. But Rudy in anger threw the book, knocking wine over Tony's fifth best trousers.
Yes,
Is he sticking with the fifth best pair? Did he change them at all on the little motor launch?
I actually need to check this. Hang on a second. No, it's still the fifth ones. They are actually. I think these ones were sacrificial trousers because they are tan in color.
Oh, it was always going to end badly.
That was always going to end badly. I mean, even of the six pairs of trousers that Tony usually travels with, which I feel is a self-defense mechanism now, because his trousers have become something of a liability in operations. Yes, he's still wearing his slightly ruined tan trousers.
Welcome to the Infinite Monkey Tales. They've joined the trouser stream just in time for the most important part of the night. Well, there's two most important parts. Firstly, understanding Tony's trousers, and secondly, welcoming the true star of the show. He is carved out of marble by the gods themselves. His beard is something that a man such as me could only aspire to with hope and dreams. He's got it all, folks. Look at him. He lives in a hot area. He's got cats. He's got charm, wit, his own business, and a cheeky smile. He is the magnificent John. Good evening, John. How are you?
Nice to be finally back. The boys are
So
back,
long.
and so I am. It's a pleasure, as always, to be here, Luke.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. We're always so happy to have you with us, and I'm glad it's been possible to do it again. What have you been up to? Name one exciting adventure you've been on in the last 4.5 months.
I've had my first trip to the beach as the weather is shining. The sun is shining here in Greece. Off the top of my head, I'm not really living a very exciting life. Despite the rumors, I'm pretty much staying at home, working on my game, doing simple things, enjoying a simple life.
It's the way to be. For those that don't know him, John is indeed working on his game. You've got 30 seconds to sell it, John. Tell us about your game to anyone that doesn't know.
Metanthropes is a game about meta-powered individuals, ordinary people like you and me living amongst us with extraordinary gifts. We've just completed our very first Kickstarter, and now our store is now live. It's out there for everyone to grab. We are entering our early access. So if you're into a Foundry VTT-based D100 super-powered system, Metanthropes is definitely the fit for you. That's it. That's a plug.
That's it. Right. Someone save that, record it, and we'll put it out all the time from now on. We'll just blast his face up to fill the screen in future. It's great. We've all had the chance to play it, and it's a wonderful game. We fully recommend the system. John also tends to stream on a Monday. I think it's like 9 p.m. UK time. I feel I keep missing it because it's my daughter's bedtime.
Yeah, 9 UK time. Yeah.
So for about an hour. So drop in there if you can and join him out. There we are. Look, click on that. Look, there's a link. Thank you, Nightbot. Well worth it. But moving back to the game in hand, John, could you please tell us about the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Rudi Otto, please.
I would be delighted to. So, Rudi Otto is a German born but caravan raised, really a citizen of the world, I must say, who has been around. And right now, when our story begins, he's in his mid 50s, but he has lived quite an interesting life. In his early 20s, he started from a like a circus back wagon knuckle, how you call it, bare knuckle boxing. But then he's a heavyweight person, so he's like broad shoulders, big biceps. He was quite a stud in his early 20s. He became a pro boxer. And you know what, Luke? It has been such a long time since we last played this Tony and Rudy Adventures, but I don't quite remember what was his record when he retired.
It was something like
Was it
6-0, something like 7-0.
it must have been higher. Must have been higher than that.
It might have
If
been.
anyone on chat can help us with the exact
I don't
record,
know. It feels like there's a number we should know here.
I think it's a number followed by an O because he retired undefeated. Because you know what? When he was about his early late 20s or something, he pursued his true passion, which is the world of academia, specifically history. And there he met his partner in crime and partner in adventures, Tony Guerrero, and have been indeed in many adventures. I wouldn't say just four. Four have been filmed and scripted and showed to the public. I think off the screen there have been many adventures besides those four major ones, let's say. And he has been through his dark period when he was studying occult and he was drinking more than he was eating. Yeah, obviously now that he's like in his 50s, he has a huge belly and he's like a polarizing figure with a thunderous laugh and a very loud voice. And right now, his latest news is that he has published his own book, who is like a bestseller already, must be. It's called Ringside Rituals, a boxer's grapple with history's hidden faces. And it's a memoir about his adventures and it's like, I cannot really say anything much. You should buy it if you're living in the 1930s.
It just summed up that whole that 1920s, 1930s tale so perfectly. The option is there. If someone wants to buy a copy of his book, it's in the points. All you have to do is give a chapter number, and John will have to tell you what that chapter is named.
Oh, I must find.
He's going to have to make it up as he
notes.
goes. He's going to have to make it up. Even better.
There's already a couple, aren't there?
In fact, we're going to change it.
Already.
Let's go for in fact, let's change it then. If you don't have his notes, a page number. Put a page number in, and he has to give you one sentence from that page.
Okay, I might be improv. I might be, like
exactly.
That's
what we want. That's exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I will improv it. Let's go.
There we go. Nice. Now, what heroes we have, dear friends. I'm excited to be around them. They always lift my joy at the game, and to be part of this adventure. And I hope you too, dear viewers, are excited, because we're heading back into the tale of Tony and Rudi, featuring Gaston, in on the river Danube. So are we all sitting comfortably where I reposition us to where we need to be?
Yes.
Good. Then I'll begin. It is 3:04 p.m. on the 9th of March 1938, 3 months removed from the academic symposium held at the Carlton Hotel in St. Moritz, where esteemed archaeologists, museum curators and historians Tony Guerrero and Rudi Otto gave what was reported in the Ce Soir newspaper as the finest and most captivating academic lecture of the 1930s. It's around an hour removed from the sudden and shocking kidnapping of the esteemed archaeologist and Egyptologist Monsieur Henri Canard, a man whose life Tony and Rudi saved when they vanquished the cult of Artemis on the Vienna Express 3 years ago, and Rudi knocked out a train, and who was due to receive an award in Vienna 2 days hence. Our heroes were in Vienna at the popular and bohemian Café Kaufmann as honoured guests of Canard, and had been enjoying reacquainting themselves with their friend over a planned afternoon of eating, drinking, and storytelling, no doubt both truthful and embellished as archaeologists are prone to indulge themselves in. They had also been joined by their young and dashing friend Gaston Delarue, former heir of the famed Delarue vineyards, sadly destroyed during the Great War. A man far less likely to embellish his tales, as he's a reporter for the Ce Soir newspaper. The fourth member of their party, who I feel is worth giving special mention to, was Ringside Rituals, a boxer's grapple with history's hidden forces. Rudi's excellent new book, out now. The promised pleasant afternoon had been ruined by the sudden violent intrusion of armed figures, storming into the cafe, destroying the relaxing ambiance, and dragging Monsieur Canard away just minutes after he'd shared with his friends that he was certain he was being followed, and had let them into his current fascination, that of an Egyptian trinket, which he believed, when combined with another 3 from Greece, Rome, and Persia, would provide the location to an artifact of incredible power that could bring peace to the whole world. Not a bad idea, with the rumours of the German Chancellor Adolf Hitler threatening to seize control of Austria in the coming days. It's also around 45 minutes removed from Gaston Delarue, crouched in a toilet cubicle in Café Kaufmann, having just seen an innocent woman shot dead in front of his very eyes. Feigning sickness, Gaston had bought himself just a few short seconds to check the small bundle that Monsieur Canard had purposely dropped as he was dragged away. A bundle containing the Egyptian trinket, an ancient pathfinding compass, and the addresses of 3 friends he was to meet this week. Englishman Rufus Hightower, a specialist in ancient Greek archaeology, Russian historian Anna Zhukov, specialist in Roman, and the older Swedish archaeologist Lars Persson, a specialist in Persian archaeology. After copying the notes and eating the original, Gaston had returned to his friends, noting that the closest address, just along the mighty Danube River, was the house of Elling Fisher, where Anna Zhukov was currently staying. It's 36 minutes removed from the group, Legion, as they're seemingly known, pouring some of the finest alcohol this side of the Rhone over all the furniture, walls, and floors of Café Kaufmann. Spotting the opportunity to take charge of the situation, Gaston had beaten the men of Legion to it, igniting the alcohol with a thrown lighter, as Rudi bravely shielded his friends with a table, and Tony fired off 2 shots, actually hitting with one, as they, along with the remaining hostages, fled out the back of the cafe. Our heroes making for the jetty, and the motor launches waiting there. Tony smartly shooting out the motors of 2 of the launches while Gaston started the other. Finally, it is just 1 minute removed from the motor launch slowly gliding up to the mooring point behind the house of Elling Fisher, from Gaston carefully securing the boat, and from our heroes taking stock of the situation. Their kidnapped friend, the compass, the tale of that greater device of mixed craftsmanship, of Legion, of the man with piercing pale eyes, seen not only in Vienna, but thinking back, even before their voyage on the SS Cannes the previous year. It's 1 minute removed from the 3 men stepping out onto dry land, taking a breath, and hoping they got to Anna Zhukov first. And that, dear friends, with our 3 on the banks, staring at the back of the buildings containing the house of Eileen Fisher, is where we return tonight.
I have this bad feeling that this Legion is not going to be an easy foe to be trifled with. It's not going to be no cult of Artemis or, vagabonds or whoever we faced thus far. I think they're well connected, and probably they will be heading for Miss Zhukov as we speak. Yeah.
It's a lovely, lovely evening for a walk down the Danube, pursued by armed fascists and lunatics. But I am a little worried that if we don't hurry, she could be in much worse trouble.
Of course, we should hurry. We should rush to find Miss Zukov and inquire here about the talisman of Mercury.
We've actually Gaston shown us the little piece of the amulet, hasn't he?
I
I don't
believe.
think he has.
Let
Yeah.
me double check the notes just to be certain. He has revealed the compass in the motor launch. It was the
Yeah.
first time that the two of you saw it physically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a thing that's missing three other things? Something like it?
From what you could see at the time, you could tell it kind of works on its own, but it looked like it was part of a bigger device.
Yeah, Rudi will ask from Gaston to check it. Gaston, could I have quick, as we walk, of course, a quick look at the amulet, the trinket?
Of course. Please. And he'll hand it over.
Well, it appears, as you can see here, gentlemen, there must be all interconnected. 4 different deities of travel, Khonsu, Hermes, Mercury, and Anahita, from 4 ancient civilizations, but all sharing the same portfolio, travel. I wonder what this legion may be truly after, because it's not political power or money or material wealth thereafter. I reckon the true wealth lies when you combine all 4 artifacts into one. But whatever that may be, it's something that still eludes me.
We need more information, and we can only get it from more pieces of this puzzle or the people. And we've got one of the pieces, and we've lost the one of the people we had.
Well, I
so
know
far, it's not going well.
I know for certain that the pieces for the Legion are more important than the people. So for as long as they don't know that we have Monsieur Canard's artifact with us, he will remain safe. Well, safe is a rather fortunate word. They will probably interrogate him, but they won't kill him unless they've got it for sure. That's at least what I hope.
I hope so too. I'm a little bit worried that depending on how we conduct ourselves, we might make his detention more uncomfortable. But since we don't know where he is at the moment, we've got to press on.
I'm afraid so. Yeah, naturally.
Okay, so we should be bold.
Be right back. 30 seconds. Sorry, 30 seconds.
He's being bold. He's being
Daring.
marching straight there himself. While we wait, thank you guys for joining in. Crit, that sounds like a great day actually. We've in a fortnight time I'm taking my family to, there's like a gaming thing in Chatham where they have video games, they have tabletop, they have role playing, they've got the real life role players outside, they've got wrestling, they've got a load of artists, which is good. The woman that came to our convention is there, the one that did the sewing thing. She's got a stall there, so that's very cool. So popping a hello to her. It's going to be good times. Anyway, I know, Crit, that's the boldest move of all. It's normally Ewan doing that to sort out his cat.
It's true. John is more integral, however, so we're more pleased.
But yeah, we normally just carry on when it's Ewan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally
Um,
fine.
So, Luke, a quick question. We
Of course.
have a little map of the sort of layout of the Fisher house.
Yeah. So
Which side are we approaching from if we're coming from the river?
so you are coming from the left-hand side as you look. So
Okay.
I'll explain. I can describe the whole surroundings to you to help in that way. So you've coming off the bank of the Danube. There's another small sort of jetty, a smaller version because you're in a housing area here. But you pulled up there. It's sort of a grassy bank, and then maybe 10 meters in front of you is a block of buildings. The backs of the buildings. They all seem to be maybe 2 or 3 stories high. Each of them, most of them, 3 stories high, and they have fire escapes running down the back of them. And after every 4 or 5 buildings, you hit a little side road, sort of a way out to the side of the Danube. As you can see from the map, Alina Fisher's house is right next to one of those side roads to the left of it, so it's the end of a terrace, I suppose. And hers is not on the ground floor. Now, I can tell you that because Gaston would know, because the address says it's on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
So, which in this case, it's the 2nd floor up. We're not using UK ground and first. We'll go first for ground and second. So it's on the 2nd floor.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're approaching from the back fire escape, but a lot of these houses, of course, would have a front entrance too, which you can see as well. There's sort of a special stairwell at the front that you can approach the 2nd story.
Can we check if there are any signs of trespassing, any broken windows, any locks, bars, or anything?
That is an excellent question and a good excuse to make our first roll of the night.
Yes.
John,
Bring
you
my
always
dice.
do well for me. Get your dice, folks. I'll let you all do this.
All of us,
All of you, get your dice.
Well,
So
that's very kind.
just to get us warmed up.
just get those dice going. Just get them going. I've got my my red dice out today because I'm not trying to brutally win everything. So my cheating pink dice are safely away.
Yes, I should feel bad about the fact that you always play Traveller with the pink dice.
Yeah, these are my GMing dice. They're much fairer, I feel.
Ooh,
Fantastic.
sweet start.
Right, he's going to save. He doesn't even know what he's rolling for, but he's saving it 'cause it's going to be good. He's rolled a 9 on a d6. That's what's impressive.
Right. Come on, socks.
Good, 96.
So the way this game works, everyone, is we're basing it off Those Dark Places by Jonathan Hicks. He's allowed us to use it with a very different setting for this. So they've each got skills in charisma, agility, strength, and education. That'll be between 1 and 4 for each. They'll add that score to a d6. If I think they can add an extra skill to it, I'll allow them. And then they generally have to hit 8 or more. 7 or more is a partial success. In which case, you're going to use your education and add your d6, please.
Yeah, I'm in a total of 9.
9.
Total of 7.
Ooh.
Way less. I did not roll a 6. I rolled a 2. So that's a 4. Please.
Okay.
Well, I'll allow Gaston off this time. He has, of course, been handing everyone the compass and tying up the boat and wrapping things back up. He's got his plates full
A lot
of
of
busy
stuff.
work. Busy work, man.
A lot of plates.
I don't know what they did without you, quite frankly. I'm amazed they ever got anything done. The other two, of course, with a lot more casual time on their hands, with a servant to do their bidding, gaze at the back of the building. Tony with not quite as good a line, but Rudi, I don't know, maybe it's one of his days where his eyes are working extra well. You can't notice any broken windows from this distance. You're still 8 or 9 meters away. but you can't notice any broken windows, any signs of a struggle or obvious breakage or blood or anything outside of the norm on the fire escapes either.
It seems that whether they are covering their tracks pretty well or we have indeed arrived first.
Okay. So, do we go fast or do we go quiet?
I recommend fast, but also knock the door. It would be better if we don't startle her to death. After all, we don't really know her. So schnell, aber careful.
Okay.
He's a man of so many languages.
Is it worth? Presumably, this is not the main entrance to the building. Is it worth covering both, just in case?
Yes, I think it probably is. I'll tell you what. I will stay. I will climb the fire escape slowly while you go and knock on the door and see if we can make sure she doesn't run away from us, because she might be afraid of us after what happened to Henri.
Hmm.
Well,
So in order to calm her nerves, it's very important we surround her and loom at her out of the dark.
well, I suppose she won't know what happened to Mr. Canard. There's no way she can know.
Possible.
Possible, yes, of course. You never know.
If she's not used to visitors in the night, she might be hiding. And we are unusual sorts of visitors.
Let's find out. I will knock at the door. Well, I will double check that the door has been trespassed from up close. But if all things are well, I'm not gonna be sneaking around, back doors or anything. I will knock on the door like a normal person.
Okay. Then while they head round to the front, I will try and climb the fire escape if I can do so without making any noise.
Okie dokie. Tony, my friend, this feels like an agility roll, please. I will give. Fire escapes are quite daring, aren't they?
I think so. I hope so.
Have a daring do. You feel like you're doing something quite daring.
Okay, I have 2 in daring do, which is good because I only have 1 in agility. I'm not the most agile of Italians. Probably not a midfielder. I'm just saying. Oh, that's all right though. That's 2 + 1 + 6. That's 9.
Tony, you make your way up, almost cat-like, quietly up to the second story. There are no windows at this stage necessarily that you can gaze in, but you do come into the, I guess the back door. The back door is there, and so you are stood at the top of that part of the fire escape. The stairs continue upwards to the 3rd floor, but you're there by Elena Fisher's back door.
Cool.
Are you happy there while I take the other 2 rounds?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just going to wait outside.
The door, lick the door.
If I can hear what's going on inside through the door, I'll wait until I can actually hear voices and conversation. Then I'll knock on the back door to be let in. But until then, I'm just going to sit quiet in case someone makes a break for it, and in case I can spot something from there.
Wonderful. It does sound good. While you're up there, then you might as well make a first education roll, please. You've got a good. You're up a little bit higher than everyone else.
Loitering with intent.
That's 8 total.
The sun is still high in the sky. It's just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you notice how beautifully it glistens upon the mighty River Danube in front of you. It's quite a peaceful, beautiful sight, actually. Okay,
Very nice.
it is very nice, and you should enjoy it while you can. Okay, moving on to Rudi and Gaston as they head down the side street. You're heading into I would say a main road, but it's a road that has people walking around up front. The main road, the main door to the house. How do you two of you want to approach this? Are you being bold? Are you being sneaky? Are you being careful?
Careful, I suppose, to make sure that there are no signs of trespassing. If there are none, knock, knock, knock.
Fantastic. The two of you head out onto the main road, and you are caught by the fact that there are people walking around, just an everyday situation. You've come from violence and death and fear and concern and fire, and these people are just going by. There's some couples walking hand in hand. There's a young boy running with shopping, maybe home for his grandma. There's some more serious men in suits and hats.
Trust no one. I've seen couples turn into Legion members before.
That's true. Could you both roll an education, please? I'm not giving you anything with that unless you want to start seducing random passerbys.
You know what?
Well,
Gaston.
I'm gonna be spending the boon from Ghost already. Because I rolled a 1 and I don't like the result.
that's a good
A
thought.
4 and a 3, that's a 7. That's much better.
Fantastic. Gaston, you get one
Mine
as
is
well.
another
I'm
2.
looking like this. Everyone that I walk by, especially the couples and the other who seem I must be like a very weird person, you know.
Yeah, that's not at all strange. In fact, you doing that, leering into people, might be why people do seem to take a bit of notice of you. A large man staring closely and intently at happy couples. You can tell that there's no one clearly dressed as these Legion members had been before. And you can tell there are no military types in the street.
Wait, they had a dress code? What was their dress code?
They were just sort of darkly dressed. They were just in dark gear. There's no one like it.
Ooh,
I
okay.
know. I like all bad, is he?
Classic.
Ben's modelling their uniform for us tonight, in fact.
Yes, clearly am.
Legion member.
So people notice you, Rudi, as people generally do. I think you hear someone whisper and point. That's Rudi Otto. 9-0. He was 9-0. I've heard he's got a book out, and they sort of, and the man's wife sort of looks back at you, kind of, as he sort of pulls her away. But you don't notice too much suspiciously.
Okay.
Gaston wasn't paying attention because he was just looking at some pretty young ladies walking past.
Gaston, keep it together. We shall have time to enjoy the spoils of victory when we are indeed victorious.
And my apologies. Yes, of course. Let's. Shall we?
Yes.
Did you notice anything
no
unusual?
No, only the usual people recognize me, so that's a good sign always. So let's head to the store. I hope that to the house. I hope that Tony didn't run into any opposition or anything of the sorts. So it's time to knock on the door.
Wonderful. So the front of the house very much has a front door set just below the pavement, which is the first floor, the ground floor, and then you would go up a small flight of stone steps to the front door of Elena Fisher's house on the second floor. You knock. I'd like you to roleplay the knock once more, please, for me, John, so I can get. That's not as grand as I was hoping, but I'm going to make my first roll here myself. Bear with me.
Gaston looks at the knock that comes out of the tremendous arms of Rudi, with a little bit of he's taken aback a little bit.
You hear this voice from inside, slightly elderly lady's voice. Is it? I'm coming. I'm coming. Is it you, little Hans? With your little knock? She scurries. She scurries to the door. And she just stops inside. So she doesn't open the door yet. She's still inside the door, but you can hear her inside the. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Obviously, Rudi, quite shocked to be called like a little man, goes like, no, and then like crackle voice, and then, no, Fräulein Zukov, Frau Zukov, it is I, Rudi Otto, the hero of Bern, the infamous writer of the ringside rituals, boxers grapple with history's hidden faces, that is knocking on your door. It is a matter of utmost urgency.
Could you prove you're the author of that book, please? What does it say on page 72?
Really? That's what exactly she asked. Very well. Well, he doesn't know it by heart, but he does have still at least one. He left the bag at the incident at the store, but he has one, of course, always on him. And he says, a boxer's intuition for combat is much like a historian's intuition to recognize antiquities and fraudulence.
I mean, really, madam, his photo is on the jacket cover of the book.
Yes, should you
I don't see the
come?
need for,
He puts the book next to his face like that, and he's waiting to be recognized.
Why is it the two of you are here?
There's a matter of utmost urgency that need to be spoken in private, but words fail when we can. He turns to Gaston and says, "Show her very carefully."
Could you both roll a charisma, please? Because you are two strangers at an old lady's door. In times of intrigue and tension.
But she's a fan of the book. The dice decided. There's no one who cannot escape the charm of Rudi Otto.
There's sort of a pause, and then you hear a key turning and some sort of scuffling behind the door. And it opens a small amount, and there's an old lady's face looks at you. She's got short, well kept hair. She's bespectacled. She's quite short, really. She's sort of 5'2". She's well presented, but she's clearly been doing housework for the day. You know, she's very much in housework clothes. And she looks the two of you up and down somewhat and says, are the two of you here about a room?
No, Monsieur Gaston de la Rue over here, an infamous reporter on his own remark, will show you exactly why we are here. And we have a third colleague in the back door of your house through the fire escape because want to make sure that you haven't been in any sort of danger. But it seems that you have been doing. He does this notion like to check for dust. Extraordinary, well, good job of keeping this the house of Elena Fisher clean. But yes, show her the trinket, Gaston. It will save us some time.
Yes, I believe we are here to speak to. I'm sorry, you are Miss Alina Fisher.
I'm Alina Fisher. I own this this guest house. I own this guest house. Please, please
I
let's stop.
thought you were.
Let's stop talking on the doorstep. Come in, come in. You said your friend was on fire escape. Bit strange, bit concerning.
I thought,
Please, I don't tend to allow people in through the back door if I can help it. If one of you rushes round to him though, he's more than welcome to, I suppose. I've just I was just brewing up some coffee. Please.
He turns to Gaston. He feels. He seems quite embarrassed. I thought that she was Anna Zukov. I had no idea if she was old or young. Oops.
I know, I noticed, but don't worry, I don't think she did. It's fine.
Okay. So how about you go the runway and make sure that Tony's safe and everything's good? Alles in Ordnung sein. And if so, bring them here. Well, I will charm my way through this fine elderly woman to make sure we learn where Anna Zukov is.
Yes. Of course, I'll go get her friend, and before he leaves, he'll lean into Rudi and just say, make sure is who she says she is. If journalism has taught me anything, it's to never trust an old lady.
Yes, very okay. Very wise, but how will I ask her for identification? It's a bit odd. Yes,
Your
3
idea.
coffees, please. Dry coffee. Yeah.
Come now. And young, handsome young man, if you're going, please close the door. Just give a little knock on your way back, and I'm sure your friend can let you in. Now, where did I Yes, and she sort of scurries off down the corridor, beckoning with her elbow for you to follow her, Rudi.
Yes, of course. You see, we were looking for, in fact, for one Anna Zukov.
Oh no! Coffee first. Come on. And I much prefer talking with your handsome young friend. Please, let's get comfortable. You can help me. You can help me make the coffee. You look like a man who knows how to make such drinks. Together we can make lovely drinks for your friends, and you and I will sit and drink. Come on. Let's go. I've got some Maryland Knoddle in that we can enjoy with our coffees. Unless you prefer some Sasha tots.
Fräulein Fischer, what about Anna Zukov? Is she staying here?
Come on. Let's sit down and enjoy it. She heads into the doorway, the second doorway on the right, and beckons you to join her. Come. Her hallway is quite wide, but it's got and it's well presented. There's lots of paintings on the walls of her with a gentleman. It's a picture taken maybe 10, 15 years ago. There's a couple of those, a couple of him in a military uniform, a couple of younger children, one of the two of them with a dog, some knickknacks.
Well, Rudi has the utmost respect for the elderly, so he cannot really rush to find the information that you want. So she kind of falls into this trap.
Can Gaston pause to look at the photos on the way out? What's the military uniform?
The military uniform would have been a It would have been a German uniform, which is not particularly surprising, really.
No,
Great
no,
Wall.
no.
But it is a uniform from the Great Wall, from what you can tell of it. Similar to those that overran your beautiful vineyards, Gaston.
It gets flooded with memories for a little while. And the woman in the picture
It's
appears to be a
it's
younger
definitely
version
her.
of.
It's definitely her. The sort of 20 years ago. They look very happy together at that time. You're welcome to go and grab Tony now if you want to. While I pause with Rudi helping the aged and trying not to be disrespectful.
I'd like to not, if that's all right. I'd like to make a bit of a show of it. He'll stomp his feet a little bit along the corridor and open the door and slam it shut a little bit louder than perhaps is necessary, and then he'll become very quiet.
Ooh. That's going to require an agility roll then, please.
With seduction, because I'm seducing the door.
You can certainly try that.
Okay, that's a 5 plus a 4 is a 9.
There's no change in her chatter to Rudi. She's quite in the kitchen now. You can just hear her chatting away, telling him, no, use this. No, I keep my best coffee here. Blah, blah, I do this. No, we must do this first. Oh, no, a larger slice. You can hear her being quite motherly, I suppose, to Rudi, like someone with guests. She doesn't appear to have noticed you not leaving.
Okay, at that point, I think he probably feels a little bit more comfortable and will leave and go and get Tony. He'll open the door quite quietly and shut it quietly again, or try to.
Can I hear any of this through the fire escape? Any of the bustling around, door slamming conversation?
I would say as they reach the far end of that corridor before they walk into the kitchen, you can probably just about start to hear the hubbub of them. But that's it, and a low Rudi.
In that
that's
case,
it.
can I take that opportunity to peer in through the windows into the room at this end?
There is no easy to find window at this end. The window for the guest room would be at the other end of the room, the other end. So to the bottom of the picture, as you can see it.
Okie dokie. All right. All right. Can I cast a look around from my elevated vantage point while I still have it, and see if there is any individuals who look reminiscent of those we saw at the cafe? You know, reminiscent of the of Legion as they identified themselves. On the, following on the river where we came from, or clustering around this row of tenements from where I can see them?
It feels like it is time indeed to roll an education. I'll give you a +1. I'll make it an easier check. You just need to hit 7 because if you're looking for something specific like that, that's fine.
He has the high ground as well.
He does have the high ground.
The high ground, and 4 in education, so that's a 9.
Ooh. Nice.
With the chance to take a pause in the afternoon sun and the breeze and the twinkling, and centering yourself in a true Tony Guerrero moment, you notice no one of that type coming down the Danube. The Danube is a big river; it's very important, and there is a lot of traffic. So you wouldn't be able to see inside a larger boat. But in the smaller launches and that, there doesn't appear to be anyone of that description. You can start to see wisps of smoke coming from the area that Cafe Kaufmann was, as it seems to have caught more, I suppose.
Okay,
You're
thank
very
you.
much burning your bridges, almost literally.
Hmm.
There is one suspicious thing you do notice, however, and that is from the suspicious thing from the cafe, which is Gaston Delarue. If he
It is
does
a
it,
suspicious thing.
if he has indeed come to find you,
Mm.
he
Yes,
rounds
he has.
rounds the corner.
I thought you meant coming out of the cafe. Then I was like, wait, hold on a minute.
Oh no!
What's going on here?
These games can get a bit weird. It wouldn't be
Mm.
impossible for there to be a duplicate Gaston out there.
No, it wouldn't be the strangest thing.
The lady's wish.
Okay. If I see Gaston coming around, I'm going to look over the railing of the fire escape. And say, hi there.
Yes,
All good?
I'll beckon him down. Yes. It's all is well. All is well, Monsieur Tony.
Okay. And we found Anna.
No, we've found Ealing, Miss Fisher,
The Fisher woman.
Miss.
I don't think I should leave this fire escape until we find Anna, in case she makes a break for it.
Okay. She is she's reluctant to let anybody in the back door, which seemed a little bit odd. But she's making coffee with Monsieur Rudi. I'll if you want, I can make excuses for you.
Thank you. Tell her I'm enjoying the view of the Danube, which is actually true.
Perhaps a fine cigar.
I can do that as well. And my trousers, frankly, are not of fit state to come into polite company.
I wasn't going to mention it, but, and I won't.
Okay. So I shall settle in, just keeping an ear cocked for any noise from inside.
Wonderful. Sounds good to me. Lovely. Are you heading back around, Gaston?
Yes, I feel as though I'm being given the runaround here, but I will be heading back towards the front door.
Truly the runaround.
Indeed.
While this is all happening, while this is all happening, Rudi Otto, you've been taken to a treat of a kitchen. Now, for Alina Fisher, she's very fortunate, being on a side road, that she's able to use the side of a house which has windows. The kitchen, as is, has a splendid window overlooking the side road. You do get a view of the house over the road, but light is streaming in. It is a cluttered room. It is a busy room. It is maybe smaller than it was expected to be when the building was first made, but she's made good use of it. There is a work surface down one side. There is an oven. You can feel the warmth from it. You can smell pastries. The second you enter that room, you're hit with a smell of almonds, of jams, of cooking chocolate. It is a delightful smell. You get that sense of coffee in the air as well. Down one side, she was halfway through baking something, because there's flour along one side, a couple of a rolling pin left dusted, and a couple of scraps of dough still there. The center of the kitchen is made up with a large table big enough for 5 or 6 people to sit around, which is not insubstantial in a building like this. And there are cupboards that seem to be groaning under the weight of produce. There's another couple of pictures of her with the gentleman from 15-20 years ago. Some children's pictures, a religious, the odd religious picture of Christ, of of a couple of pictures of the countryside, some paintings, and it's a very homely, welcoming kitchen, Rudi, and you have that sense of comfort, I suppose, when you go in, which she
I
does
wouldn't
beckon
say
you
comfort, but I am
in.
like diffused, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, as he's drinking from his coffee and tapping his foot nervously, he says, "What about Miss Zukov, Fräulein Fischer? Is she here?"
Misukov, Otto. I I have had the pleasure of Miss Zukov's company. She has been hiring a room here for the last couple of days. She's a delightful lady, a Russian lady, Otto, a Russian lady. Can you believe such a thing?
Yes, 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 yes.
My dear husband was fighting against such people, not but 20 years ago. But how times have changed. You think one way of a nationality, and it changes over time. Uh, ah,
Well, is he staying here in this house of yours?
she's been a delight, absolute delight. She's been helping me with my baking.
Yeah, of
She's
course. Is he here now, though?
I I I don't know, truth be told.
Can we figure out?
What do you need with Miss Zukov?
Told
She
you
did
it's a
ask not
matter
to.
of utmost importance. It's a matter of life and death.
She did ask not to be disturbed. That she's a very busy lady, and
It's a matter. It's about her work. It's a matter of life and death, and her work.
uh,
Es ist super wichtig.
that glorious bit of language work. Um, there's the knock at the door. I'm guessing if Gaston is coming back, having been given the
Uh-huh.
run around, and she, that must be your young friend. Your dad, he's lovely, isn't he? And your other friend. No, bear with me. I'll be back. Don't you worry, Otto. I'll be back. To please, another coffee. One of the chocolate treats, especially, are very good. You look like a man that enjoys a
I
chocolate
can't
treat.
say no.
I'll
Yeah,
be, come on,
I
come on.
can't say
Of
no to
course, they're
those
very
kinds
good.
of.
Come on. I'm very well known for my Sasha torte. Cut yourself a large slice, Otto. As she
He falls to the trap. He forgets why he's here.
as she bustles away down the corridor to the door. Rudi, you hear the door open and her, my young friend. Just you though. Your friend didn't want
Yes,
to join?
it is
Yep.
indeed. No, alas, I could not find our dear friend. He has a very short attention span. No doubt he has wandered off in pursuit of something shiny or let's go with that.
Well, I hope he's missing out. Can you please? I believe your friend Harto is cutting us cake as we speak. Please come in. It looks like you could use building up a little bit. A young slip of a man like you. In you go. Come on.
Ah,
No one
this is
leaves Elena Fisher's house hungry. Please come.
this is very kind. Do you have anything less fattening than cake? Perhaps my doctor he worries about my heart. You see,
You-
I may look young, but I've had a hard life.
well,
No coffee, no fattening foods. I must I've got to look after myself. He
well.
starts touching his toes and doing a couple of jumping jacks.
I do have I have a pot on for this evening's dinner. It might be edible by now. Some nice Tafelspitz, if you wish. Some it's boiled beef with apple and horseradish. Maybe that would be of interest. A small bowl of that. Come on, my young
Okay.
friend. I love to have guests. Please come in. She's
You might find Rudi Otto with chocolate all over his beard and mustache. Gaston, Where is Tony?
I was just telling Mademoiselle Fisher here how we are. He's probably. I couldn't find him. He's probably gone off for a jog or something. You know, us three fine specimens of men that we are. He looks back to the
Jog?
chocolate-covered
What are you
face.
talking about? There's he wipes his beard. There is nonsense. He wouldn't go for a jog right now. If you didn't find him, you could be very much concerned.
Gaston sort of locks eyes quite confidently with Rudi, probably the most confident he ever has, and just says, "I'm sure he's just gone off on one of his pursuits, you know."
Yes, his pursuits. Yes. Now it makes sense. So you're here for the chocolate?
No. My poor heart. What would my doctor say?
Nah, and doctors are ruffians. They always said I wouldn't make it past 50, and here I am, healthy as an ox.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Please tell me, Anna, is she at home? Have we?
Yes, we were about to go visit her, weren't we, Fräulein?
Anna Zukot, lovely lady, lovely. Russian.
Yes.
We are in a bit of a hurry, yes.
Of course. Tony, could you roll a education roll, please?
Oh.
Tony, please. In fact, you
Why
can
do
all
I
do it.
feel
Rudy
uneasy?
and Gaston
No,
can
it's
all roll
fine.
an education, please.
I don't want to. I don't want to know.
So you want one for me as well? Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
please, all of you. With nothing there.
That's Ken.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. Mine is a 7.
Sorry, education?
Yes,
We're rolling
please.
6 total.
Rudy, you're too excited by the chocolate, the bubbling coffee. You're at that end of the room. You don't notice it so much. Tony definitely does, from his side of the door. And Gaston somewhat. You can hear a dog clearly barking the other side of the door, Tony. And he seems to have run over to closer and closer. The barks are bringing him closer.
The other side of the door, I'm outside.
Yes, Gaston also hears the barks, and can tell it's inside the house. But that was a 7, wasn't it, Gaston?
Yes.
Which means that it's possible that Fisher noticed you hear the dog, I guess, but she hasn't made a point of it at this moment.
Is the dog yours, or is that Miss Zukov's?
The dog. My little Straussy. Oh, you've heard. Oh, yeah. Very. It's not normally like this at this time. Normally, closer to dinner. Please. Excuse me. Do you mind if I go and settle him, little Straussy?
No, of course not. What type of dog is he? She.
Is that? I believe he's what people from other countries may call a sausage dog. We call it a Dachshund.
Delicious.
A Wurshunde, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a beautiful dog. Yes, please, the two of you. My apologies. I must just go and settle Strauss, please. The two of you, please, make yourself comfortable, make yourself at home, eat and drink as much as you like. And she scurries out the kitchen, and you see her turn from where you're looking. She turns to the right.
Where is Tony?
Rudy. Tony wishes to stay just in case that she makes a run for it, or somebody tries to exit out the back. I can't help
Very
but
well.
feel we are being delayed.
On purpose?
Not on purpose. Maybe on purpose. I don't know. But this is taking longer than we discussed outside, I believe.
Yes, I
Shall we,
must. I have fallen victim of this wunderbar chocolate. He eats another piece. Yes, yes, of course. So we didn't even learn where is her room. I
Well,
guess
there
it will
weren't
be
too
the
many.
guest room.
There weren't too
Yes.
many doors.
She went to the
pre-
right. So she went towards the living room. So yes, how about we go to the left, the guest room?
So she's gone to the right as you saw it, which is the guest room. She is headed
Which
in.
she's gone that way.
So the
Yeah,
right.
as you were looking, she went to the right. So yeah, she headed to the guest room way.
Well, we're getting the guest room as well, I guess. Or, well, let's go. Is it possible that the guest in this house is living in the living room?
The only room you've seen is the kitchen.
Let's go left in any way and figure
Yes.
out.
Do you want me to stay back in case she returns and make excuses?
Yes,
should we
she
both?
seemed to be very fond of you. Rudi will take another piece of chocolate and will head to the living room. He takes one for the road.
No. What a man. Rudi does indeed head out the kitchen and turns down the hallway towards the living room. The door is shut, but you're welcome to try it.
No, I will knock. I will knock.
Okay, how are you going to knock? Can I hear it?
Okay. You know what? In that case, if you ask me, I want to make a roll to figure out if there is a specific pattern or rhythm or numerical code associated with Mercury in Rome.
Oh. In what regard? Help me with the answer I'm going to give.
Is it like did he had a specific number in the pantheon of Roman deities? Did he was known for something that has a specific rhythm to it? Are there any codes associated with the order of Hermes of Mercury? Sorry. I have no idea. I'm not a real life historian, but Rudi is, so he might know something that I don't.
In which case you can roll education with history, please.
There we go. So it's 5 plus 3, total of 8. If there is something, I might figure it out.
If you're looking for numbers, the thing that comes to your mind is that he's one of 12 D consentes. So 12 would potentially be a number that might be of interest. You know that he's the god of commerce, the god of communication, travelers, thievery, guides souls to the underworld.
He does? Interesting.
And he's one of the son of Maya, who was one of the 7 daughters. So you've got some numbers and you've got some information, I suppose.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the 12 distinct knocks. So it will be like 4 distinct knocks of 3. So it will be like I think I did it totally wrong, but you get it. I think I did 16, but imagine that there were 3 instead of 4 each time. There was I think it was right. 12 knocks at total. Okay.
This is very difficult for me because I look up to you so much, John, but your knocking's appalling.
Yes, it's not my forte. As a role player, I lack in proper knocking.
You can go off a man quickly, you know. You knock in 3 sets of 4.
Yeah, let's go with that.
There is no response, but as you knock, the door just opens slightly inwards, as if it was just
Uh-oh.
a bit on a latch. It's not that someone's
I don't
opened
like
it,
that.
just that you've opened it somewhat. While you're there, I think that's a lovely place for you to pause for a second. We need to go to Tony Guerrero at the back door, hearing the dog barking from the outside.
Luke, can I just jump in very quickly to say that
Yes, Gaston, please.
Gaston isn't waiting in the kitchen. He'll be waiting in the corridor, just looking at photos.
Fantastic. And I'll get you to make a roll in a minute, actually, then.
But please, go on.
No, please. Tony, you hear the dog barking again the other side, and you do hear some footsteps in the guest room now.
Okay. When I hear footsteps in the guest room, I'm going to stay quiet for the moment. Did I hear the door open as part of that?
Yeah, from the rolls you've had and the volumes you've had, I'd say yes, just about.
All right. So what I will do then is wait for the moment and see if I can hear anything else, the dog or the interaction. And in particular, I'm listening for voices, as in a conversation or anything like that.
Fantastic. I'd like you to make 2 rolls for me. I'd like you to make an education roll for me. And I'd like you to make an agility roll for me, please.
Okay, so this is my best and my worst stat. So my education one first. Let's get the good news out of the way. Is a 7. Oh, sorry, is a 5 total.
Oh no, that's your best one.
Yep. And agility roll comes up as a mighty 3.
In which case, you're incredibly shocked when, seemingly from nowhere, the door beside your head suddenly opens, and you come face to face with an elderly lady holding an old service revolver directly in your face.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And that's where we'll take the break for this evening.
No way! No.
It's okay,
way.
John. It's not our faces.
I feel like I should say something like, "I've taught you well."
Wait, is it the old lady? Really?
Well, yeah,
I can't believe it.
but that's where we're taking the break. So there might be questions to answer, but that's not for now.
Not for now. Okay.
Never trust an old lady.
You knew it. You knew it all the way.
Right. Let's go and have a break, and we'll see you, the rest of you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for another hour or so. We'll see you on in a little bit. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. It is part 2 of tonight's Tony and Rudi on the Danube, and you join us at the house of Alina Fisher, a lovely old lady, with a beautiful kitchen full of the smells and the flavours of old Austria. There's probably a strudel in there if you look hard enough, but there's definitely chocolate tart. There's even a nice savoury pot of stew on. The coffees, the chocolates, most of it in the kitchen, some of it around Rudi Otto's beard, who is currently in the doorway of the living room. The kitchen right now is empty, for Rudi has headed out to snoop around the living room. Gaston has headed out to snoop in the hallway, and the lovely Alina Fisher left the kitchen, made her apologies because she had the dog barking, and headed off to the guest room. Tony Guerrero has just met Alina Fisher for the first time, for she has just opened the fire escape door behind which he was hiding and has pointed a service revolver in his face. And this is where we return. Who are you?
You didn't have to bring me my coffee out here.
You're not German. Where are you from?
Rome.
Oh, wasn't built in a day, you know.
Very few places were, and the ones that were, they don't last that long.
You you speak sentences like a spy.
It's funny you should say that, since you're the one currently holding a gun.
I get suspicious of people standing on my fire escape, snooping.
I get suspicious of people who point guns at me. But I think we can overcome this. Are you Fraulein Alina Fischer?
Roll a charisma for me, please.
We're really going for things that I should be good at tonight. Well, let's hope. It's a 6 total.
Her eyes narrow at you. Why? Who's asking? I've been told to be suspicious of unannounced people snooping around.
My name is Tony Guerrero. I'm an academic currently working in London, and I have heard that a colleague of mine, a fellow academic, might be staying here. Her name is Anna Zhukov.
Everyone talking about Anna Zhukov today. Are you with them?
Define them.
You define them.
Okay. I belong to a small union of lecturers and archivists. I support the Roma football team, and I am a member of several small clubs, a boating club on the Thames, and a couple of literary societies. And I'm currently traveling in the company of a journalist and a former boxer, both of whom have an interest in academic matters.
Roll one more charisma, but we'll make it a slightly easier check. Maybe she's a Roma fan.
You never know. That's 8 total.
Fantastic. Speaking of which, John, Olympiacos won a trophy. Are people excited?
The what? Sorry?
A Greek team won a trophy the other day. In football.
Yeah, I'm not really following that shit at all. I heard, I was working and I heard some screaming from outside the door. I was like, is someone getting robbed? Is it...
Don't be afraid, John. Tell it like it is.
And to be
I am
fair, a
not-
Spanish team won a trophy tonight as well. So yeah.
I'm not following football at all, so I have no idea what's
Ah,
going on.
very, very wise, very wise. Well, nor's she, but what did bring a bit of interest was the mention of the boxer friend. It seems there's a moment where her eyes soften, and the revolver drops a little, and she ushers you inside with it. Then
Okay.
come. I have chocolate tart. I have the finest coffee. Would you like a coffee, Miss Guerrero? Would you like a I have coffee. I have danishes. I finished baking. Come, quick. Come. She sort of looks around behind you. You weren't followed, were you, Guerrero?
Far from it. I generally find that I'm opposed to leading.
She doesn't get it. Then come, your friends are inside enjoying a feast from the gods. Quick. And she tries to bustle you through the guest room if you'll allow it.
Yes, I'm not going to go quickly, if that's okay. I'm going to move, but I'm going to take my time a little bit. I would like to take in as best I can the contents of the guest room, please. Have a quick examination as we walk through.
You can do your best, but as the door closes, all you're seeing is mostly a crack of light from the doorway through to the hallway, because the curtains are pulled and there's not a light on. In fact, could you roll an agility for me, please? Could you roll an agility for me 3 times?
3 times.
Yes, please.
What? Come on, man.
Okay. Wow. All right. So the first one, bearing in mind my agility is 1. Okay, the first one's a 6. I don't get any daring do with this, do I?
By the third one, you can.
Okay.
For not tripping over dead bodies.
The second one is a 4. And the third one is a 7 plus daring do is 9.
Nice. As you sort of slowly try to follow her through, squinting, I guess, into the darkness to pick up any details you can. First, your foot clatters into something metallic, and immediately you feel the wet from the metallic container spray up the bottom half of one of your trouser legs. As it scatters, clashes across the room, the metal container.
Is there a distinctive smell associated with this fluid?
I wouldn't be that cruel. No. But just as you're sort of shaking that leg off, your other foot makes contact with something soft and squishy that lets out a doggish howl as you kind of kick into it somewhat. And she pauses a minute. She goes, "Straussy! What's this horrible man done to you?" And you sort of whimpering of a dog that's been kicked halfway across the room by a wet-legged fool.
Oddly, I'm actually less worried by the thought of kicking the dog than I am of kicking the bucket.
You do manage to avoid the rather sharp edge of a surface, though. The third one, you sort of you crash up against what feels like, if you put your hand down, it feels like a writing desk, I guess, which you can feel with that roll. You feel a few sort of papers and pens on it, and it shakes a little bit under your hand. You manage to stop it from falling over.
Can we get a beard for Ben, please, Luke?
Oh, we can.
Thank you all.
I'm sorry I let
And
it
thank
go.
you, Socks, for the treat.
When we get to the door, I mean, is she leading me?
Yeah, she is leading you.
Okay. So when we get to the door, she'll presumably open it and some light will come in.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see that as she opens it, there is indeed directly opposite from the doorway. There's the window, which has a curtain pulled across it. Underneath it, there's a bed. Very bad feng shui having a bed directly opposite from a door like that, but that's where it is.
Mhm.
And you can see a few more paintings on the wall. The first ones you've seen, of course, of some landscapes.
I am invincible!
Oh, I heard that. And some sort of clothes sort of shoved under the bed, from what you can tell, that are different to the patterns that she's wearing, I suppose.
Okay.
The dog howls and scurries past out into the hallway, where you hear it, where you hear Gaston going, "No, no, no," as it starts humping Gaston's leg.
All right.
Didn't
Then, as
even
we
have to
go through the
roll.
door, what I will do is, if she'll actually allow me to do so, I will close the door behind us as we enter the hall.
Ah, a gentleman, thank you, thank you.
And as I do, I will say clearly into the room. Not shout or anything, just speak clearly in case someone's in there that's hiding under the bed or something. I will say something like, my good friend Henri spoke of your hospitality.
Kato. Kato. Kato.
Okay,
And then I will close the door.
okay. Wonderful. As you step out into the corridor, Tony. Having said that, you need to drink, by the way. Socks is just taking over the stream for a few minutes. Oh, and John as well.
Thank you, Socks. Always got my back.
Socks and John, wonderful. You step out into somewhat chaos. She almost trips over the dog Strauss, who is humping Gaston's leg, who is clinging onto the wall for dear life. You're hit with the smell of slightly burning chocolate, which causes her some consternation as she rushes into the kitchen. I'm just going to pause while I hold a song. My angle's not good for the guns tonight. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, and I think at this point, in that current moment, the person we need to catch up on is Rudi, because we need to know where Rudi is.
Mhm.
So we need to roll back about 60 seconds to find out Rudi.
Right.
That door to the living room creaks open somewhat.
When the door creaks open, he will whisper, Fräulein Zukov.
There's no response. The room is dark inside, but you can tell there's a little bit of light that suggests there is curtained windows at the far end of the room.
Well, traditionally, when he enters a room, Rudi goes, aha!
It is tradition.
It is tradition. So he will do that, but like a lower volume. Aha!
He's been all about the lower volume today. First the knocks, now the aha. As you open the door, the light from the doorway, and the aha, the excitement of the aha, reveals a living room. It's still in shadow, of course, because there's no light on, and the curtains are pulled. You can see a couple of armchairs. You can see a small table, a sideboard, a small bookshelf on the top right hand corner, along the wall. It goes straight up to the wall. There's a bookshelf. You can see the doorway immediately to the right as you go in. And then if you go up that wall goes straight up to the top wall, and there's a bookshelf at the top of that top right hand corner.
So there's definitely no one inside.
From what you can see from your first aha, no one has jumped up like it's a surprise birthday. There's probably some hiding spaces in there, but you can't see anyone from your first aha.
Is there any lamp or anything inside?
There is, to the left hand, there's like a sideboard that has a lamp, and there's also a lamp on a small table near the bookcase on the right hand side of the room.
I will try to light the lamp on the bookcase. I'm not entirely sure how lamps work in the 1930s. It's like, I'm gonna do whatever works for that era.
Well, whatever works for the era did indeed work, as light does flicker on, and it's electric. It's not the greatest electric, and does fill the space. It's quite a low light. There's still a few shadows, but you can see that from what you can tell, the room is empty of people, I would say, from where you stand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any signs of someone living in this room?
Roll an education for me, please.
Yeah. Oh, another 6 tonight. That's amazing.
Oh, he's hitting a good
Ooh.
roll.
The third 6.
Nice.
You're making up for Tony.
I think Sox has redeemed something, but I must tell a tale. Is that so? I've never seen that
Yes.
Imperial point spent before.
There will be an opportunity. Don't you worry. I'll make sure there's a chance for Rudi to tell a brief bit of backstory. So have a think about it. We'll come to it in the story shortly. But for now, there is signs that someone's living in here, because there's a pair of slippers by one of the chairs. There's an empty cup that seems to have a coffee ring on the inside, and a small plate with some crumbs.
From the side of the slippers or the clothing or the decoration is like a good, who could be living there?
You carefully put your foot alongside the slippers to sort of balance out the size. What size would Rudi's feet be? Has he got quite large feet?
He's huge. He would have
Yeah.
like the largest size of feet.
the largest size of feet. I have no idea what the largest size of feet would be, but that's pretty big.
Get on the Guinness website now.
Nightmare buying shoes. The feet that are there are at half the size of his at most.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're quite old-fashioned. They're very old-fashioned style. Very comfy around the edges. A bit warm.
Okay, I open the drawer next to the bed.
Socks has opened a pervy site for you already.
Just feet.
He's got some animated hamsters dancing at the top of it.
No, sorry.
You open a drawer from a cabinet, and inside there's a Lutheran Bible.
Uh-huh.
And a couple more photos of the lady in her younger years with that gentleman.
Okay, the lady, the lovely Fräulein Fischer. You mean?
The lovely Fisher.
Okay. In that case, Real quick, he will do that motion. Let me show you. Turn it upside down and flip it in case something falls. Never know. It's a classic move.
That is a very, very, very strong move.
Hmm.
A scrap of paper does fall out of it.
Aha!
And
He says again.
and honestly, John, outside of game, round of applause.
It is an aha moment.
A scrap of paper falls to the floor. If there's any writing, it's face down. It's blank, top at the top. You can't see writing from where you're looking at it. And as it, the literal second as it hits the ground, you hear Elena Fisher going, Straussy, get off that man. I know he's beautiful, but still, he's not for you. Now, where is that? Where is that handsome Otto?
Okay, one final look around. In the bookcase, do I see anything concerning Mercury? This and that. Anything really that catches my eye very, very, very quickly.
Depends how long you want very quickly to be. If you want to be out there without causing attention, it's very quick. If you want to spend 30 seconds looking, you can, but it's up to you.
It is okay to catch me when I'm leaving this room,
Yep.
I'm not planning to be back in the kitchen when she arrives there. I will just appear, pretend to be lost. So it's okay, but I don't want her to find me when I'm actually right. 30 seconds. I don't know how much that is.
In her bookcase, there's nothing that stands out about ancient myths or history. There's some novels, whole range of novels, to be honest, from a lot of different European authors. There's some old Shakespeare in there, translated into German, mostly. There's even a bit of old Russian literature in there as well, but nothing
Interesting. Okay. So I think it's time for me to exit the living room. I will take the note with me, by the way.
Yeah.
But I will check it probably later, or as I'm leaving, maybe a very quick note. Check on the note.
Of course.
Something
on the note,
and then put it inside my pocket.
As you flick the note, you sort of do it all in one motion, I suppose. You pick it up, flick it over, read it into the pocket. So you don't see everything on it, but you do see the name. It's a name that you do recognise.
Oh my God!
Written on it. I know. There's M. Henri Canard, and then there seems to be a place and a number or something like that, but then it's in your pocket.
While he puts it in the pocket and he exits the room, he says to himself, aha. One third time.
A triplet of ahas. Wonderful. Wonderful. As you exit, you walk into the corridor to see the humping dog, a confused-looking Tony Guerrero with dog water all up his trouser leg, and a kind of excitable Miss Fisher. Ah, Otto. What? I was worried. Where you gone? Please, no, all of you, come back. The kitchen is. I love to have guests. Please, all of you. A wonderful trio of handsome men. Come and sit down. Let's see some drink. Come, please, come. No.
Is he holding a gun? Wait, is he holding the gun?
She's sort of got it down in her hand, but down by her side, like she's kind of forgotten about it, I guess.
Does Rudi Otto see a gun?
He does, yes. He's holding it down by her side.
But boy line, Why are you holding?
What this thing? She sort of waves it around a bit. This no. That's not for you, silly. Come on. Don't worry about it. Straussy, put him down. Put him down. He's not for you. Come on. He sort of pushes the dog back. Look, this is why I don't like to open the fire escape. And sort of opens Storm, pushes Straussy back into the guest room. But then you go. Look, I've got guests. Go. And you go. Now, come on. My three handsome gentlemen, please join me.
As Gaston makes his way through, assuming is Rudi coming as well? John.
I think I have. I admit, he says to Gaston, have been a victim of misjudging a character. She says, like, not. He's kind of whispers it to Gaston.
I was about to say the same to you, funnily enough. Anyway, I don't know what I'm more worried about, the gun accidentally going off or the dog. Shakes his leg.
Or maybe, he says, also whispering, if Tony is close, he obviously I will allow Tony to hear it too, but not to the old lady. Or maybe the fact that she has information about Hendrik Anand.
What?
It's in my pocket, but I will show you later. Why is she holding a gun?
I'm not sure. She came back through the door. She had the gun, and she had Tony.
What type of gun is it?
She seems friendly enough.
What type of gun is that gun?
It's an old military revolver. It's
A revolver, okay.
You would guess it's from. It's got a couple of decades worth of life on it. To be honest, who knows if it still even works? But
okay. Is Tony around? Sorry, I guess I missed it.
Yes, I'm essentially in the hall, so probably just out of sight for you, I guess.
and I said, are you back in the hallway now, Rudi? Did you come back through to the hallway?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Then in that case, you'd be able to see me.
Then you've got a moment. She's just gone into the kitchen, so the three of you alone in the hallway for a second.
Very, very quickly, she makes amazing chocolate, but not to be trusted. She has also information about Hendrik Anand.
Death by chocolate, you say?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Just in case they've forgotten, I suspect they haven't forgotten, but just in case they have, I'm going to just remind them silently by just showing the fact that I have a gun of my own, tucked in my jacket.
Right.
Just in case any plan they have going forward would be helped by that. But I'm not going to say anything or make a sound about it because obviously she's out of sight and I don't want her to get more alarmed given that she's currently...
Yes, but she's not our enemy here. Let's face it. I'm not sure who she's working for. But did you go through the guest room? Well, maybe it was Miss Sukov there.
I didn't see her.
So she's not here. So, Miss Fräulein Fischer, she enters very pompously the kitchen.
Mhm.
I suppose we go in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and very charmingly, if I may so, and says, "How about another round of this amazing Schokoladen?"
Ah, oh, ah. I guessed it was happening already, and she turns round with both 3 cups of steaming chocolate drink and 3 large slices of chocolate tart, and plonks them down on the table. She takes the far end
Mm.
and puts the other 2 on one side, 1 on the other. Now, please, my young friends, sit with me. You have questions, and I have been holding off, I feel. But
I have
please.
one question. What is the recipe for this chocolate pie?
Oh, you. Oh, you. Ah.
Just for your reference, Luke, I will happily accept a coffee and a slice of chocolate cake, but I'm not eating or drinking anything in here.
Okie dokie, okie dokie.
Yeah, Gaston sticks with the same. I too have one question. Can we please leave the dog in another room? He shakes
Wait.
his leg to kick
Yeah,
the dog.
yeah. She sort of,
Not Straussy.
Gently, not not violently, to coerce the dog off.
there is a way to darling Straussy will calm. It's okay. There's a trick though. There's a trick. All you have to do is run your hand down his tail from shaft to tip.
That feels. That certainly feels like a way. Gaston will, I suppose, try to subtly pick up his plate of chocolate cake and lean down as if to stroke the dog, and he'll put the plate on the floor and
Roll an
stroke the
agility
dog's
for me,
tail.
please.
Well, with seduction.
If you want to, add it if you want.
That's good. That's a 5 plus 5.
Is that with the seduction?
Well, it's with seduction. Yes, indeed.
Is it? Well, wow, I don't know where to go with this. It's no longer the tail, I assume.
No. Of course it is. It's platonic seduction.
As you reach down with one hand,
Jeez.
you give Straussy a little tickle under the chin, and a little rub of the ear, and a little stroke down. A little one of those sort of firmer rubs down the side of like the neck and the belly. Ooh, lovely dog. And he does settle down, drops down, and starts wolfing down the tart quite happily, and wagging his tail.
Wonderful.
That you've just that you sort of finished by sort of bringing your hand down the tail to the tip, and the tail starts wagging, and he seems calmed and happy, and is not leaving your side.
I shall very much keep an eye and make sure that his presumably lesser than our constitution doesn't fail, and after eating the cake.
I'll let you know.
Thanks.
The other person you can check for their constitution is Rudi, who's wolfing it down.
Well, of course, but I assume that it will take longer on such a hulk of a man.
Incredibly powerful man, embarrassingly weak knock. I find Rudi. Now, my young friends, what can I do for you?
Is he still holding a gun?
She's just put it down on the table, but almost it's not like it's aggressively pointed at you. It's just down on top of the table.
Well, Fräulein, he wipes his mouth with a hand. Well, we were looking for Miss Zukov, Fräulein Zukov, and But it is the presence of this firearm that caught me off guard. We told you you're amongst friends. We told you who you are. We showed you the book that I've written. What? Why do you feel the need to carry this firearm here?
I'm I'm sorry, my handsome young friends. Uh, Miss Zukov, she's Russian, you know. Don't hold it against her though. She's a lovely, lovely, learned lady. Um, she um, she told me that I would be wise to carry my husband's old revolver with me for now, in case uh, I had to welcome any unwanted house guests. I'm not including you, of course. And she sort of smiles at Tony. I thought he may be for a moment, but despite his
No,
looks,
no,
apparently
nonsense, nonsense.
he's friendly.
Yes, we did told you that we had a third friend, a third party member waiting by the fire escape. All is good. We are all friends here. Do you know where Miss Zukov is right now, or when she will be returning?
Mm. Roll a charisma for me, please.
Oh, of course I will. Oh, well, you
Is it
believe
in
it or not, it's
sixes again?
another six.
Another
No,
six.
John,
Oh,
there's a fourth
John.
six tonight. And all charismas were sixes today. She must be swooning.
When you're
That
hot, you're
old
hot.
lady must be swooning with the Rudi love tonight. There's no way. There's triple sixes on charisma. She must be falling in love.
If
There's no way.
if I titled this like a traveller episode, it'd be the one where an old woman swoons with the Rudi love.
That's a perfect title for the episode. Yeah.
She does swoon a little bit with the Rudi love, and ah, I forgot what you said, Otto. It was very. Can I call you Rudi?
You may call me Rudi, yes.
You feel her hand earnestly grabs hold of your forearm near your wrist. Oh,
Mm-mm.
It's I'm a very lonely lady, Otto, Rudi. Very lonely. My husband has been dead for 10 years.
I understand.
I've been living alone in this house. I started offering out the a room to visitors, to travellers, to those who needed it. I vet my guests carefully, Rudi. I pick only those who I feel would be endangered in other parts of town. The young, the academic, like the three of you, but the three of you clearly are strong and powerful men. You combine both power and academia. It's a heady concoction.
Hmm. But right now we're interested about Hoyland Zukov. He does allow her to play with his arm, you know. She doesn't mind that. Maybe
Might not.
seductively he tries to seduce her in a way.
Oh, wait a sec, I need to have one of these warnings like we did for Darkness the other week. Very different sort of warning, though. I know, I'm sorry, Sucks. It would have been a
Up
terrible
to the
accent.
level of the warning, you know, up to the level of warning.
Yeah, well, Rudi. Well, it's a very lonely time. It's been a very long time since I've had such a handsome man in my quarters. Please have another slice of this chocolate tart. Ever since my husband died, I've not fed anyone with such a strong appetite.
He,
Please.
he opens his mouth and he gets ready to be fed.
she just feeds it in somewhat. Your beard, your beard is so, your beard hair is so soft and well turned out. Your friends are so fortunate to travel with you, but Miss Sukov,
Yes, Mizukov, yes.
she
Where is?
And all because they love Trey.
who did that? Oh, any attempt at professionalism's long gone.
It's funny because it's chocolates.
I have, Gary,
No, go.
I've not seen Miss Sukov since yesterday, but when she left, she did tell me that she would be back, but that she was in danger.
What?
That she said there were forces closing the net. That she and some friends were being followed. Something about piercing blue eyes. She was
Opa?
very concerned last night. She was almost quite drunk, almost, I feel, when she came home. But she left with just the clothes on her back. So I know she'll be back. She had nothing with her.
It's sad that we missed her.
She's a charming lady. She's I can show you her room if you wish, where she stayed. You're clearly not those who she was concerned about, after all. You don't sound anything like the description now that I sit here with the three of you. Your
Would
eyes are
be
all
best
beautiful,
if
but
you-
they're not piercing.
Was the eyes the only description?
Yes. Do you have any idea where she might be right now?
Her description was babbled. She just talked about men with piercing blue eyes. That she mentioned dark uniform clothing that she'd been followed. Nothing. Your description is very different. The more I spend with you, the less you seem like the description. As to where she is now, she just said she was finding a new place, that she was worried that she would be found by them, but she would be back if the coast was clear, and that I was not to let anyone under that description into the house.
Then it sounds like seeing her room is essential for us. So thank you. Please do.
Yes. Why, thank you, Elena.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Please, another slice of. It's the last slice, Rudy. Please. It'll be an offence.
all already. Oh
No,
my.
it'll be an offence. Your friends aren't eating, so.
I am
Mine is
eating
my place is empty. Thank you.
Oh, Straussy,
please do,
Straussy, you've been eating off Gaston's plate. It's okay, Gaston. I'll get you another plate. Don't you worry.
No, it's fine. Please, just the room. I feel.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course. Please, Follow me. She slaps another shard of the chocolate tart onto Rudy's plate, and then gets up and heads to the door of the kitchen. Now, please follow me. I'd normally use the guest room, but she was very concerned about the fire escape being being risky. So I let her stay in my bedroom instead. Please follow me.
Does that explain why your dog was in the guest room?
Yes. Straussy, yeah. Straussy always sleeps in where I sleep.
Of course.
Although it looks like, given half the chance, he'd be sleeping where you sleep.
Well, if he
My young friend.
plays his cards right.
Roll a charisma with a seduction, please, Kirsty.
God. Well, that's good news. That's a 1 plus 4. I think that's good news.
Strauss is
For the stream's sake.
Strauss is ignoring you now, just licking the plate.
Okay. Is she taking the revolver with her or leaving it on the table?
She's leaving it on the table.
Okay. All right. Then I shall follow her.
Likewise.
Indeed.
She makes her way into the hallway with you following, and she starts pointing out the pictures as she goes. This is my husband and I. This is 15 years ago. We were so young. We'd been married 20 years at that point. He was handsome. He'd just come back from the Great War. He'd been at the front 2 years. He'd been fighting. It was terrible time. She sort of talks about another couple. This is my daughter. She's grown up. She's moved away now. She's living in Switzerland. Worked in a hotel in St. Moritz for a while, a small hotel.
Opa?
Anyone we recognise?
Never before in my life.
Is it someone that Gaston very much recognises?
And
No,
you accidentally got shot.
it's fortunately for you, it's not. It's not.
Whew.
Okay.
He wiped the sweat from his forehead.
Small world, yeah.
And she heads into the living room, and almost like automatically, she the light's on, but she hasn't clocked that it's different to when she was last in there. I suppose, you know, when you go into rooms a lot, it is or it isn't. And she goes over to the doorway to her bedroom. This is my bedroom, but I did offer it to Miss Zukov. I've not been in there. Even when she left, I've left it as is. So please, be respectful to her. But if it's of use, please. And she sort of opens the door and stands back to let the three of you go in.
Time to search it as much as we can.
There is your usual furniture. So on the right-hand side, overlooking the road, there is the window. This window, the curtains are pulled again. It is almost as if she is sort of keeping a low profile on the streets. The bed is in that bottom right-hand corner with the head of it to the bottom. It's just a basic single bed in there. You have a wardrobe to the top, almost taking up that whole top section. To the left, there is a writing desk with some sort of a makeup writing desk in that whole corner. There is a box, like a trunk, which is half open with clothes that don't seem to match what Elena Fisher is wearing. There is a mirror like a full-length mirror to the side of the closed curtained windows. There's a couple of lamps in there, as we've come to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the usual pictures on the wall. And there's the writing desk has the drawers in.
Okay, since we are given some privacy, I think it's a good time to check the note that I have that mentions Henry Canard
Yep, good plan.
and show them to the others as I'm reading it.
Fantastic. So on your note is the name of Monsieur Henri Canard. It has the address of where he had been staying. It has a phone number, which you would assume might be the reception or the sort of the landline of the place. And it has a date and a meeting place for tomorrow and a park in Vienna.
Okay.
I showed them to the other two. They found this information, strangely enough, to Fräulein Fischer's drawer.
It's got to be. You found this in the book.
She had like a Bible next to her, and it was hidden in the Bible.
So if it was Anna who had the note, and she chose to hide it like that, it was supposed to be kept from prying eyes. This could be very important.
You assume she hidden it outside of her own room.
Perhaps if we compare the writing to something on the
Okay,
gestures
yeah.
on the walls,
Let's compare the
Yeah,
writing
the writing
of
desk.
something
Let's see what we've
found
got.
inside this room. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Excellent work. So there is the writing desk, and there does appear to be some scraps of paper that do appear to have some writing on them. There is nothing that you'd call a diary, but there's a small notebook in there, and there's a couple of scraps of paper next to it.
Let's compare.
Both of you, all three of you, roll an education, please. I'm trying to see if I can add anything to it.
Another 6, guys. Seriously.
Oh,
I can't add anything to it, I'm afraid, with that.
that dice.
Seriously? Wow. This is wow. I've never been so lucky with a D6 today.
That's an education roll, you
Use
say?
that one forever. Yes, please.
That's a
No.
total
Mine is
of 6, I'm afraid. I rolled a 2.
yeah, mine is a
9
six
total
as well.
from me.
Gaston and Tony sort of lean over, but they're looking at a bit of an angle. Whereas Rudi, who's holding the note and looks at it, it's Anna Zukov's writing, from what you can tell. If these pieces are written by Anna Zukov, that note
Well,
is
both
the same
are.
handwriting. Yeah.
Good guess, Gaston. So she
Excellent.
actually hide it in Alina Fisher's Bible because they were not going to look there. So I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on here, but I think that we have all the information we need to leave this premises.
What were the notes on? Sorry, Luke,
Um,
that were compared.
so the notes you can tell, one seemed to be a piece on some notes on a meal that she'd obviously had in a Viennese restaurant. How good the strudel was, how good the dish was, the name of the beer that she drank, and as if it's a note to sort of take home with you, I guess.
Yeah.
Another, there's a note that says like to read. It was a reading list, and there was a list of 3 books on that. There was Ulysses with a line drawn through it. There was The Tempest with a line drawn through it, and there was War and Peace. There was no line drawn through War and Peace.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Say that again. It's not. There's no line through War and Peace,
Yeah,
but which ones are scrubbed out?
The
it was
Tempest.
The Tempest had the line through it, and God, I'm tired now. I can't remember what the first one was. I've got it written down somewhere. If anyone can remember it off the top of my head, it was
Ulysses.
Ulysses, wasn't it? Yeah,
Okay.
Ulysses. Oh yeah, Ulysses.
There was also a mention of a man with pale, bright eyes following her.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard this description of those eyes before, but I cannot quite connect the dots right now.
Yes, indeed. A man. I believe we were given a young age as well, a strong young man with piercing blue eyes, pale eyes.
If nobody else is taking it, can I pick up the note with the 2 things crossed out and War and Peace left uncrossed
Of course you can.
and stick it in my pocket?
You certainly can.
Did you say it was like a notepad that she'd left notes on?
Yeah, so those sort of 2, there were 2 pages that sort of torn out pieces.
Okay.
The other notepad, there's a sort of a notepad there that there's nothing left on the notepad. You know, those 2 pages have gone off.
Can I find something like a pencil?
You certainly can. There's a pencil. Go on, roll a. I know what you're gonna do, so roll. I'll let you choose different. I know which one you'll pick, but I know which one you should pick if you were brave. An education or agility. I'll let you do a history. No, daring do. It's a very daring thing to do. What you're gonna do.
Is it daring?
I think so.
I'll tell you what then. As I get the daring do, which is a +2 for me, I'm going to take agility.
Oh,
Well done.
Wow!
I applaud.
Because
I love it. Yeah, as a
I
GM,
feel
I love
this
it when
is-
my players do that.
this is a
Let's go.
precision act, you know?
Good man. Good man.
Okay, that's a 5 + 2 + 1. That's an 8.
Bravo!
I'm not sure I'd have been as brave without the daring do.
Well done on that, though. There's a note on it from that you rub out. It
Yep.
says, Frau Fischer. Please place the book over the nook on the shelf.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that the nook on the shelf is roughly where that Bible was found?
The Bible was in a drawer. If you remember, the
Okay.
living room had the drawers. He went into the drawers to look for it. That wasn't the only place books were, but that was where the Bible was.
Then we have another book to find. Before we go. And I feel we should also search the room in case she decided not to go with, say, a small piece of an ancient device and left it hidden here.
As as they're searching, can Gaston go to find Fisher?
Uh,
If Tony says that out loud, he will say, I would reckon if you were in possession of such an artifact, you would carry it with you. I don't think we're going to find it here.
I don't think it's likely, but she abandoned the place in a hurry because she was being followed. It's not impossible she hid it here thinking she would be leading people away from it.
What about this note that she obviously and actually purposefully, purposefully, it's a difficult word, with a purpose she hid. Um, is it like a rendezvous with Henry Canard? Could that be?
It could
Because
be.
if so, I think we should be heading there right now. She won't know that Henry has been apprehended, has been kidnapped, so she will be heading to meet him.
Maybe.
When is the from now? How far? How much time do we have before this appointment, Luke?
it was tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Okay.
Yep.
Then tomorrow we must be at that same time, and I think we will find her. And I also think that she will carry her artifact with her.
I think that's likely. But given she left in a hurry and thought people were following her, there's a chance she thought she was leading them away from the artifact. We should search here, and we should see, because she asked Frau Fischer to hide the book over the nook on the shelf, that presumably is going to be here.
I'm not sure that that Fräulein Fischer knows about the note. There's a possibility she doesn't even know about it.
She may not have received the note, but that was the intent of the note.
I suppose you're right. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
As the two of you start searching, I'm jumping to Gaston because Gaston went very proactive into the off on the search. So Gaston, what are you up to? As the two of them start searching, I guess. Gaston, what are you up to?
Madame Fisher.
Yes, the handsome young man.
I think my friends are almost done. Thank you very much for all your help.
No, thank you.
And hospitality. I just have one last request.
Of course.
A library in town. Do you have a library in town? There's a couple of books that I'm very much interested in reading. We're all quite academic, obviously. My two friends, they are famously so. But I have a little list. I'm particularly interested in finding either a copy of Ulysses or perhaps War and Peace. Have you read them?
I own them, but I've never read them. My husband was a great reader, but I myself I'm more a fan of the easier reads of an evening when I've finished my my baking.
Well, who is your favourite?
Well, my husband was a great fan of Marlowe. Strangely, not in the English, of course, translation, but he would read all the classics. Every book he read, he kept. I've never got rid of them. I have no need for the library myself. I have my own library, as it were.
Of course. But you know where it is. Could you point me in the right direction?
Oh, of course.
I wouldn't presume to ask for a loan of books
No.
from your late husband.
Oh, of course not. She sort of grabs a scrap of paper and draws a quite a rustic map of a direction to the local library in Vienna. It's quite a grand library, my young friend. But if you so wish, this is where a learned man like you might go for a whole world of books.
Well, thank you very much once again. You flatter me.
Thank you, and you flatter
And
me.
that's all Gaston was particularly interested in at that point.
Fantastic. I hope you and your friends are finding everything you need. Now, if you'll excuse me, dear old Straussy seems very excitable. I can't calm him down. And she scurries off towards the guest room.
And I'm happy if you want to jump back.
I'm happy if any of the two want to be jumped back to.
I will begin searching the room. Did I overhear that conversation, by the way?
Oh,
He
you know
wasn't
what?
being subtle.
No, you would have done. Alina's bedroom door is open. The living room door is open. It would have been in the hallway at most. You definitely overheard that conversation.
Okay. So while I'm busy searching the room, I'm essentially looking through Anna's possessions, her trunk, things like that. If I don't find anything, can I take a look on the shelves and see if I can identify the copy that Alina said that she had of War and Peace?
There are no books in Alina's bedroom. Rudy has seen books in the house. But
Yeah,
not
they were in
Alina's bedroom.
the living room, I think.
Yes, there are no books in Alina's bedroom though.
Then I will go through and peruse the shelves in the living room and look for the copy of War and Peace.
Monsieur Tony, I think I just thought I'd have a conversation and make sure that that note was indeed Anna's, and presuming that Madame Fisher is being truthful about the book she reads, it seems that it is.
The two of you are standing in the corner by the living room, in the top right-hand corner. I don't know, Rudi, if you've come through, or if you're still turning over Alina's bedroom, or gruffly like, "Oh, we need to be gone from here," and just sort of humouring your friends.
I think he's convinced that Anna won't be returning here, and they need to be tomorrow at the rendezvous point.
Got you. So he's sort of he's sort of focused on that leaving. You know, we've got what we've came for. We need to get going.
Yeah, obviously there is no more chocolate left, so there's nothing really anything more to do here.
The down has started after the chocolate high. He's
He has withdrawals from the lack of chocolate.
Kicking him. Gaston and Tony, you do notice Rudi's demeanour dropping somewhat over the last few minutes, but Tony, you head and you start looking at the shelves as Gaston's in the room too, and you notice Ulysses on the bottom shelf. You move up to the second shelf of 4. Then you notice the Tempest at the far right-hand side, and then 3/4 of the way to the left of the third shelf, War and Peace is indeed there. Between some fine Dostoevsky and other Tolstoy classics.
It's a fine collection.
It's a fine collection, to be honest. Her husband had excellent taste.
It is. If I can do so without being spotted by our hostess.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's back in the kitchen. She's
then I will remove the copy of War and Peace and tuck it in my pocket, please.
Could you roll an education for me, please?
Certainly can.
And no, that'll do. Just education.
That's a total of 10.
As you take the copy of War and Peace and tuck it in your pocket, and your eyes sort of turn around to go or whatever, you notice that in its space, in that shelf, instead of being the back of the shelf, there appears to be a large hole. And that's where we're ending for this evening.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
Excellent indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear friends.
Great session, Luke. Lots of twists
Really
and turns.
Oh, it's all twists
Yeah.
and turns, that's for sure.
There
much
was
chocolate.
a point that I thought that this old lady was behind everything. She was the Legion, but thankfully not.
I was a bit worried you were getting ready to kill her at one point. I was like, oh,
Yes,
no.
I was thinking
Definitely
of punching her and making it 14 and 0. But
Oh.
thankfully, I did not resort to
Hopefully.
violence.
Can you imagine if that's the one victory that wasn't there for the taking?
There was a brief moment where I was seriously thinking about throwing the old woman off the fire escape.
Yes, we all had that moment.
Yeah.
We all thought of that.
How quickly you all turned to aggressive behaviour to old
But I'm
women.
actually quite glad I didn't, on average.
Indeed.
She's just a nice, dear old lady, isn't she? She's just everyone's nan. Oh.
I don't know. My nan's
This
never
close, this
held
close to
a
happening.
servant's revolver in Ben's face.
There's always time. If she's never met him. Once she has,
To be fair, if she'd met me, she'd react differently.
Oh,
Yeah, no, possibly.
wonderful work, all of you. Gaston, the dog's best friend. Rudi, the old woman's best friend. And Tony, the fire escape's best friend.
For a session of friendship.
It's very much
Indeed.
a session
Yeah.
of friendship. And it's an
Oh,
absolute
fantastic.
treat
Thank
to be
you
back.
so much, guys. That was brilliant.
Let's do it
Much
again
fun.
soon. I can't
It
wait.
was
another
good to be back. Yeah, let's make the next one sooner than the
Absolutely.
previous. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice one. We'll book it in this week. I think we'll work out when to do it.
Woo.
Wonderful.
Plan. Good
Cool.
plan.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Slay. Look at that. That's a proper sesh, Slay. Thank you so much. Thank you, anyone else who's still around. We appreciate you for listening to us. It's a tale we like to tell. And
Johnny, you live on Monday again over on your channel.
Yep.
If anyone's
See you on
interested.
Monday. Yeah.
Much fun
Classic
seeing that.
hour.
perfect.
I might have the best episode yet. I must say.
I think it will be.
It's
To be honest.
exciting.
Yes.
Statistically, it will be. I think.
Yes, if I'm around on Monday, I will try and drop in. I haven't seen one of your sessions for a few weeks now, but I will try.
That would be great. That would be delightful.
Lovely. Yeah, thank you, John, for joining us. It is always an absolute treat to
That
have
was-
you with us.
It was an amazing to be back. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Yeah, end of June, maybe early July. I'm in. Let's do it.
Brilliant.
That sounds good.
That would be really, really nice. And thank you, Ewan, for making that go so smoothly. And I suppose, grudgingly, I should also say thank you to Luke because he was all right.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you all for
Thanks,
not
Luke.
ruining everything.
Thanks, John.
I
Thanks,
appreciate you.
Yeah,
You could
there's
have
always
killed the
time.
woman, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what to do now.
Yes, thank you, guys. And good night to everyone watching.
Good
Sleep well,
night.
everyone.
Good night. Take care. Have a wonderful summertime.
Yes. You don't need to say that. You'll be back in a few weeks.
Mm.
And
I'm talking like the bills the first of month, but it's already the second month. But you get the idea. Thank you.